Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. We're back, hopefully, on a regular cadence for Tuesdays. We've been a little hit or miss for the past few. But we're going to continue our campaign 2 of this Adventures in Middle-earth. Let's see here. I believe you all end up spending your inspiration last time. So let's.
Yes.
Mine's gone.
Yeah, let's everybody roll a d20.
Oh no. Use. Don't fail me now.
12. I'm coasting in the middle. Nope, I'm on the bottom. Because Kevin had to burn a natural 20.
Yeah, look at that. Natural 20. Cirion, if you'd be so kind to give us a recap from last time.
Oh, what a recap to give.
I will fill in blanks and may provide some extra detail of events prior to last session, just to give in some more grander insight to the current story. But have at it, Cirion.
With honor. So, last time we left off, basically the TLDR version is, we fought a big vampire and we won. The more detailed version, so we ended up facing the head of the vampire order. After it seemed like negotiations were going our way, it seemed like Mordu was going to betray us, according to the head she-bitch. So, a battle of wings and hands took part. And we eventually discovered that one of our companions is fucking terrifying as a bear. That roar in the background was so perfectly timed there. Is Lindsay frozen for anyone
Lindsay
else?
is frozen.
Oh God.
Okay.
I mean,
Lindsay
it's not a terrible place to be frozen.
Yeah, there's worse spots, I guess. Anywho, okay, you're good now.
Oh my god, I just heard, is Lindsay frozen right now? Lindsay's totally, and I'm like,
It's the ghosts.
Anyway, so after Vig transformed into a bear, the fight ensued. And trading some blows back and forth, we eventually managed to free Tonnel eventually from the other bats holding her down. We took care of them in some shape or form. And as the fight was ensuing, Tonnel was she stood up and decided to try and fight the head vampire. While we were fighting her and Vig's broad shoulders were carrying the team.
Just does the jaw on that vampire bat split 3 ways? It kind of looks like it does.
Okay, so nightmare fuel aside,
Cirion would know. He got up close and personal to it.
Yeah, didn't you kiss it, Cirion?
No, she got up close and personal with me and did like the classic cartoon, licked the fingers, put my torch out, and me and Malvhor were sitting in darkness going, hello?
You saw all the teeth.
I believe that vampire bat's mouth, I believe that's like dried blood or spittle or something that's giving that illusion.
I'm not sure what I like more now.
I mean, she did look like this beforehand, so.
In the ensuing chaos, Tonnel jumped in. The head vampire kind of just easily brushed her aside. Or no, she stunned her with her eyes. And basically casted her aside for a brief second. The fight went on for a brief moment. And then the vampire bat went full brutal mode and basically mauled and appeared to have killed Tonnel. Threw her off to the side, and then our fight continued. Eventually, after trading some blows, keeping on going, Vig, and probably the most brutal finisher that we've had, finished the bat by ground and pound with its hands. And if that wasn't bad enough, decided to go full jawbreaker on the bitch, and it clamped on her head and bit down and basically smashed her head. Meanwhile, in the People Don't Care's corner side, Cirion and Malvhor, we were just trying to like light a torch as Vig's doing the heavy work. We're like, come on, 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 like lighting a flint. And basically we eventually got torches lit and everything. But unfortunately, in the chaos, Malvhor did go down. This was before the fight ended. He did end up going down. He did live though. We just managed to save him.
Secret
the skin of his teeth and the skin of our teeth. So, both sides of the fight kind of wrapped up. The supporting characters were just, we took care of things. Eventually, Vig went to go check on Tonnel, and Tonnel revealed some information about Vig's companion, if we want to call it that, that we can figure out eventually down the line. And then, as Vig was taking Tonnel out to go bury her, Malvhor and Cirion stayed inside and started collecting some treasure for mementos, riches, and also a trophy of the head vampire.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Nice.
I'm just doing a little fun statistic thing here, real quick. Uh-huh. Fig did 184 damage in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is Fig's story. We'll just the side characters.
Yeah, like I said, we're just supporting characters. She's like, I love that we got like the torch lit. Like, okay, we're ready to. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you guys pulled it out with having two torches going at once for their.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm playing a support character. I don't do any damage.
I was gonna say, but like the stuff that you did to support last fight, like with all of your gift dice and whatnot, was super helpful. And like the fact that you focused on light for the two of you and everything. Can you imagine if you guys didn't do that?
So, yeah, you all confronted the head vampire and succeeded in slaying her. And with a compressed skull between the massive jaws of a bear, you did sever it as not necessarily a trophy, but as the proof to deliver to Mordu that you had fulfilled your end of the bargain. Cirion, you can go ahead and take your inspiration for that lovely recap. So a little bit more grander background as to why you are all in the mountains of Greenwood in attempting to kill a vampire and work with a dark entity known as Mordu, also known as the Mouth of Sauron. Our wonderful Warden of Gondor, Malvhor, discovered some time ago that his old flame, if you will, that whom he had left some 10 years ago, roughly, had a daughter who is also around the age of 10. It's a bit of a mystery there. There's no confirmation. There's no hard evidence on anything there. It's a suggestion.
The delivery of that, though.
Unfortunately, shortly after the Fellowship encountered Maerwyn, Malvor's old flame, the daughter, Maerwyn, went missing very briefly, and she was found captured by some orcs and goblins. The Fellowship managed to rescue her after they had met Mordu and returned her to safety, only to discover sometime later that she was actually cursed at that time. Believing, knowing full well who put that curse upon her, they went to Cirith Ungol in Mordor to confront Mordu and strike a deal to get the curse lifted. He seemed very eager to fulfill that end of the bargain if they were to go forth back into the Greenwood, seek out the head of the vampire order, and slay her. Seeing no other option, the Fellowship decided to do just that, but they wanted to bring Maerwyn along as they headed towards the Greenwood, where Fig, our other member of this Fellowship, was essentially raised and had adoptive parents there, and one of which is a renowned healer of the elves. So they brought her along to there, left her there with the elven healer known as Fig, What's your mother's name?
Northriel.
Northriel.
I'll type that
The
in
last
chat.
time I went to say that name, another name entered my head, and I said someone completely different, so I didn't want to make that mistake again. Really just confuse everyone. So Maerwyn stay behind with the elves, with one of the renowned healers of Northriel, to ensure that an underlying sickness that was also present wouldn't exacerbate the problem when the curse was potentially lifted. So, you have all went into the mountains of Greenwood, confronted the great vampire and slain her, and retrieved your evidence of success. Fig! Actually, no, Malvhor, because you rolled lowest. If I went to the high, I'll go to the low. Trivia question.
Yeah, the middle kid always gets forgotten.
Damn.
What is the true name of the great vampire?
Let me go back in my notes, because
This was how I got inspiration last time.
I mean, the vampire, the elves refer to her as the Shadow.
They do.
The Ringwithel?
Correct!
The Ringwithel.
Very, very old being. That was a servant of Morgoth.
I thought you said bean for a second.
Well, yeah.
She is an old bean.
She was built like a baked bean.
Well, Dean.
You may take your inspiration.
Now time to get the DM to take it away from me by relentlessly teasing him.
Play with
We
fire,
all know
not the
he
birds.
loves that.
All right. Let's mix up the music.
Yeah, 'cause
This
it's
was
not
low-key,
happy.
like intense and terrifying, dude.
We're not happy.
Wait, what?
We're not happy. We won, but we're not happy about it.
I have
We won, but at
7
what cost?
reasons to be unhappy.
7 reasons.
Only 7?
Is that your hit points? Do you have 7 hit points?
I'm just saying, I got 7 reasons to be unhappy.
Got 99 problems.
And 7 of them are a reason not to be happy.
Actually, let's hold off on that one real quick. Let's stick with because we're not outside yet. We're not quite outside yet. I don't think. Oh, where the hell did this shit go? Losing stuff. Oh, this will do. Okay. All right. So Fig, you are heading out of the cave system with Tonnel's body in tow.
Yes.
The other two of you stay behind to catch your breath and sort of explore the bit of a treasure hoard that is left behind. Considering what lays before you, which is not necessarily just coins, it's mostly items made of silvers, golds, things that are typically very large and potentially heavy. So it really limits you in the carrying capacity of what you can do to leave behind here. But on a quick inspection, it looks very old and very refined by a metal worker of great renown of sorts, and it gives a bit of cultural elven influence from what you can see. A lot of it has decorated bits that reflect nature or leaves or water of some sort. And it's all a manner of various objects and various trinkets. In total, between the three of you, you can retrieve 60 gold pieces worth of this treasure. Now, that's in total amongst the three of you. So 60, however you want to split that in any way. Malvhor, I'll say whatever gets split that counts. The harp you found counts amongst that treasure. So whether you wish to part with it down the road because it's valuable or retain it is up to you.
So it's 60 gold and the harp, or the harp is part of the 60 gold?
That's part.
So I'm still, so how much of the 60?
Basically, you guys have 60 gold pieces in this group.
Yes.
You can split it any way you want, 3 ways. Somebody gets more. Doesn't matter to me. It's up to you guys. Whatever you end up getting, Malvhor, the harp is in that.
So I don't get any money. All my money I get is just the harp.
No, you get 60 gold pieces, and amongst that is the harp.
Okay, okay. I understand now.
No, the harp is not worth. So whatever you end up with is the harp, and whatever the gold amount is split.
I got it.
Okay. That was confusing.
I apologize. I didn't think I was explaining it that convoluted, but it happens. Cirion, I think you don't have anything in particular you were looking for as like a memento for this bit of stint. So go ahead and do me a favor and just roll a d20 and a d10. So d20 plus a d10.
Yeah, I spent my inspiration on this loot table.
You did. And that's where the harp came from.
22.
22.
I don't know about you, but I rolled a 22.
Uh-oh, did I get kicked out of roll 20?
Uh-oh.
So amongst whatever is split amongst you, Cirion, you find amongst the split treasure a small hand mirror made of what looks to be tarnished silver with a frame that looks made of a pewter or maybe an ivory from an oliphant.
But I can see how pretty I am when I have my date with Bardor.
It's not exactly in a good condition, but it is something that's very unique amongst the treasure. Everything else seems to scream ancient elven, but something of Oliphant beckons to more of the south winds.
That would be a great gift for Bardor.
I'll just put my inventory silver hand mirror.
Yep.
A little heart emoji next to that.
And whenever you guys split in terms of the treasure value, it's not just coin, it's a bunch of other things. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys, essentially within reason, what it is. So when it comes time to like work with merchants or trade or anything like that, you'll have something in your inventory that might equate to the gold value or the silver value. So it's all sorts of various things, and it's mostly just what you can carry.
I mean, we gotta be fair, right, kid? Just 20 gold each, right?
Yeah. 20.
I feel like we all equally contributed to this battle.
Sure. Don't know what battle we were at, but yeah. We contributed evenly. Go team. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. I'm tired. I'm a little fucked up.
Okay. You guys heft your winnings. You guys heft your winnings and attempt to catch up to Fig through the cave system, which is relatively easy to do. She's not moving at any quickened pace, especially carrying another individual. But you guys do catch up to her, and you begin to round one of the final stretches of the cave and see just a little bit of light coming from the end to signify that you're getting closer. And every now and again, there is a large bluish white flash outside, followed by a rumble. So you get the idea that there's a storm brewing outside. As when you came in here, it was fairly close to probably midnight or so. Haven't been in here that long, so you're coming out sort of like in the middle of the night. Now I can go back to what I was doing originally.
Let's at least get some distance out of this hellhole.
Yes.
Fig, you lead the group out to the sort of main landing in the cave, still carrying Tano.
Yeah, my plan since last stream was once I got out of the cave, I was going to bury her.
Okay. I'll say little difficult on the sheer rock face of the mountain as you are pretty high up and there's not a lot of dirt coverage here. That you do take time with like loose rubble and sort of make like a carrying pit of sorts, but you're not actually able to dig a shallow grave or anything like that.
Then I'll take her further down.
Just bringing the corpse with us.
All right, so you're gonna haul her all the way to the base of the.
Yeah, I want some good dirt.
Pretty sure I gave Fig my dagger to be like a makeshift like.
You did.
That's
drop.
true. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's still a rock face though.
I know. I'm just saying. I kind of forgot about that detail myself.
Yeah, I'm assuming Cirion wants the blade back undulled.
Yeah.
I can always sharpen it.
Unchipped. Unchipped against the rock face. All right.
It's a back. What the hell?
No, just far down enough to just adequately do what I am looking to do, and to bury her deep enough where she won't be. What's the word? I lost the word. Where she won't be. What was that?
Eaten.
Yeah, basically. Bothered.
Bother.
Okay. Let me just throw on just layer the audio tracks here. All right, you guys spend probably the better part of an hour or so making your way back down the mountain. A little bit more gingerly than you did on the way up. Some of you probably limping a little bit, a little sore. But Fig taking her time with hands full, trying to move down the steep cliff face. You do eventually get to where the tree line begins and get to a little bit of softer dirt. Luckily, it's been raining and it's begun to sort of soften the earth. So you are able to take a few minutes and sort of carve out a shallow grave for Tano.
Before I will lay her down on the ground next to the pit real quick, or the grave real quick, and I'm just going to first check if there's anything on her like of interest, or maybe if there's like letters or something, or anything out of the ordinary on her.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
12.
12. You look her over and she travels pretty light. In a lot of the times you've encountered her, she pretty much only had sort of like the cloak on her back and maybe a pouch and her dagger. She doesn't seem to carry any sort of correspondence or anything of really real interest. The pouch itself looks to contain a handful of looks to be old breadcrumbs or something to that effect.
Is the dagger anything special?
The dagger looks to be carved from bone, from one solid piece of bone. It does have a crude leather wrap around the handle, and the end where the pommel would be is adorned with feathers.
I'll take her dagger.
Okay. You can add a Tanael's dagger to your inventory. It does D4 damage.
Okay. And then, after that very brief and, mindful and polite search, I will then take her body and gently place her, down in the grave. And then I'm going to, with kind of the help of Cirion's dagger too and everything, and also just kind of like taking my hands and just going like poof and bringing it all over. As I get to work in that, I'll go from enemies to strangers walking together on one path. We have become involved with something greater than we each or all, and I look at everyone else, imagined, whether we wished for it or not. I'm gonna finish with the dirt, and then I'll stand up slowly. I hope you find peace where you are now. Thank you for your help. And be one again with the earth.
Okay. As you finish pulling the dirt over the grave and take a few moments to say your last remarks, you sit there for a few minutes just listening to the rain sort of pelt against the Greenwood treetops, and just listen to the silence and the sound of the night, having just went through a harrowing experience, not for just you, but all the Fellowship. It's just a moment. And then maybe 10 feet across into a thicker area of the tree line, you hear a bit of shifting in items sort of clanking together, and you look over and you see like a slight yellowish glow of two orbs sort of just sitting in the darkness, and you just hear well, isn't that lovely?
Who's there?
Somebody steps out into a bit of what light there is.
This better be Mordu by some stroke of luck.
Oh my god. You know, that as weird as that would be, I would welcome it.
I can't deal with somebody new right now.
You see a scrawny individual come forth out of the shadows with a gnarled-looking tree branch that looks to be carved into a staff of sorts, but there's bits of like bolted-on metal as reinforcement, like black pieces of iron that seem to be even driven through it for like reinforcement or actually splints of sorts. And as this individual moves forward, you notice on their head they also have a metal band sort of bolted into the side of their head.
Oh, is this that? Wait, I know his name. I know his name.
The dark brown, greenish, orcish complexion, as you recognize Thula, the orc that initially greeted you at Kirith Ungol in the Citadel there.
Thula! Have you been following us, Thula?
For some time, yes.
Did you follow us to Shelob's lair?
No, I'm not crazy, no.
Because that would have been impressive, frankly, if you would have made it through that. We'd be brothers in arms, almost.
As like the lightning crackles and illuminates the area, and you immediately see about 5 others standing behind them in the shadows.
Tell me.
Great.
tell me this is just you checking up on us that we did a good job, and then you're gonna leave us.
That entirely depends on what you have. You came down from the mountain. Is the deed done?
The deed is done.
I'm gonna drop the trophy I took in front of them. Just take like a couple steps forward, do like a mic drop kind of motion, and just drop the trophy. You're welcome to go look in there if you like.
He steps forward, using the staff to sort of
Take like 2 steps
take his
back.
weight. He picks up the head. Oh, this should do lovely.
A little crushed, but you know, some tape and whatnot, you'd be fine.
What is tape?
Stitching, some stitching, it'll be fine.
He reaches into a side cloth pouch and pulls out like a crystal file of sorts, and like holds it underneath as he takes the head and begins to like sort of takes the areas where it was crunched in and just sort of squeeze it, and you see this maroon blackish blood sort of drip out into the crystal.
Ooh.
As he takes the head, puts it to his side, and takes like a rope off of his belt and sort of makes a quick knot and ties it to the side of his left hip. Oh, this should work. You see this large black bird fly down from the trees and land on his shoulder. It's about the size of probably about that big. It's a very large bird sitting on his head, and it almost has like a bit of tuft feathers on the top of its head. Its eyes are beady and dark black, and the entire creature almost looks like it's made of shadow itself. It comes down, lets out like a gnarled caw from its throat. Send word. We'll return, and we have what we're looking for. Go. The bird flies off and heads back. Well, I should congratulate you. You've done quite the task.
Thank you.
What about the other end of the bargain?
Right. As he pulls up the staff and puts it in front of him. Lindsay dropped.
And he just kills Fig.
What'd
He
you
just
do?
smacks the staff on the ground and Fig dies.
One froze, and I was just like, uh-oh. I'm here. What'd I miss?
Nothing.
Oh, now Discord's yelling at me to update my username.
You can do that later.
Okay.
As he pulls up the staff and reaches into a pouch and pulls out about another vial and 2 other items. That one looks to be like a powder of sorts, and some other sort of greenish liquid. He mixes the greenish liquid in with the powder, and then takes the vial and pours out what appears to be blood from your perspective. As it hits, it begins to coagulate and actually let off of a bit of steam. And he picks up his staff and he points it at his hand, and he begins to recite something in a language none of you understand. As it sort of gets more chest voice and guttural, and the voice almost seems to boom a bit, and you can swear for a moment there's a slight glow to his eyes. In a moment, he finishes his chant, and there's just an echo across the trees of his final orcish words. And the whole concoction in the palm of his hand is nothing but smoke, and eventually dissipates, and everything that was there is now gone. Places the staff next to his side. The terms of the deal have been met.
Did you, was that you lifting the curse?
It was. I've been given authority to do such if the terms were met.
Now, what about the ingredients for the underlying disease? That was also promised to us, at least the knowledge of them.
There's a merchant in the south, in Umbar.
Ooh, that is fire. Wow.
Yeah. He deals more in information than he does in any other particular items in the world of man. But the cat's eye should get you in the way, in the neighborhood.
Everything just came together at once. Wait, merchant in Never mind.
Yeah, you're thinking who I'm thinking? You're thinking who I'm thinking?
I'm thinking of
my.
Yeah, same.
I told you I was suspicious of that motherfucker.
That more fucker.
More fucker.
Okay, Thula. You did great.
My master wishes for me to deliver a message as well, and that is you're no longer welcome in the lands of Mordor.
Gee, wonderful.
And I thought we had such a good friendship here, Thula. I'm gonna go ahead.
So did I.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna use my discourse on Thula for him to be friendly to me.
Okay.
So I can roll a charisma-based check with advantage against his, I think it's wisdom saving throw. Let me double check. Yeah, wisdom saving throw versus my charisma check, and if I succeed, he's friendly to me. If I don't, it's whatever. He can be whatever he wants. So, okay. Persuasion?
Yes. I'm gonna take a screenshot.
29.
Glad I took a screenshot.
If he got 30, I'm gonna be like, I can't look at Discord.
I didn't paste it in Discord.
Okay.
No one's probably going to demand proof from me in this particular case. I was taking a screenshot in the event of things. You sort of how are you trying to win him over?
That was basically me saying, "Oh, I thought we've grown. I thought we were friends, Thula. I thought we had a close relationship. I'm gonna miss you.
Okay.
You and your iron bands."
King, king, king. Well, you don't have to visit me in Mordor. We can certainly find each other outside the Darklands.
Yeah, maybe we'll schedule a dinner or something. Get some grog. Be a good
Do we
time.
have another ship happening?
Perhaps.
Oh my god.
Well,
Not against
If
it.
you know a fine place that serves man flesh.
I know where plenty of man flesh is. But it's more of a self-serve situation.
I'm always willing to help myself.
I just give Malvhor the weirdest look, like, what are you?
Well,
Both of us are
Thula.
just kind of like standing off to the side, just looking at him like.
This guy.
Well, Thula, don't be
Kind of look at each other like in disgust, like what the hell's happening?
don't be a stranger, and maybe we'll see each other again. And
You see, like, the other 5 Uruks standing off behind him, just sort of, like, side-eyeing each other, like, why is he getting so chummy with them?
and then my allies are side-eyeing each other too.
They're side-eyeing
we-
each
and then
other,
we
they
just look at the orc.
across.
Look at the orcs and just go.
This would be the best kind of like fan art ever, or like comic panels. I'm just like,
The other five, like, signal to the two of you, like, we'll have a chat over here. We need to talk about this nonsense. We can't have this.
Walk over there. I'm gonna walk over there and be like, "All right, boys, you see what I'm seeing, right?"
It doesn't make any bleeding sense.
Doesn't.
No.
What do we do?
I'll like walk over to Tonnel's grave and just be like, take me with you. What is this?
Oh, no.
Alright, boys, hear me out here. Okay, we're gonna need a banner, we're gonna need a horse, and we're gonna need some fire. Okay, don't ask me what for, but we can make the stop.
I think we can manage that.
Alright, gentlemen. Hands in, boys, hands in. 1, 2, 3, team.
Team, all right, go.
The conversation ends, they come back with everything I asked for, and be like, oh.
Somehow, yeah, Fig is still
boys.
sitting next to Tonnel's grave, and at some point, out of nowhere, she's just eating a honey cake.
Alright, boys, we're gonna tie his legs.
I need
and
honey
his arms.
cakes.
Back to
Reel it
reality.
back.
Anyway.
Back to reality. Well, safe travels, Thula. Don't be a stranger.
Yes, I'm sure our paths will cross again.
Yeah, I'd be interested to
One
see if
moment.
you see your magic again someday. It seems real neat.
Is he sort
One
of
moment. And I'm gonna walk up to Thula really quick, reach down for the crunched vampire bat head, and I'm just gonna grab a tooth and just pull it out, and then walk back to my friends. Keepsake.
I'm pretty sure Fig could do anything she wants and nobody's gonna stop her.
I do
You're just
understand.
watching everything that's going on right now, being like, what the fuck is happening here? You got
I do
one
enjoy it.
flirting, and she just walks up, just yeets a tooth out, and walks back. Like,
Because I can.
I go now.
I do enjoy a good trophy, if and fully understand as he pulls out a necklace underneath his tunic and gestures it. It's got about 4 different ears pierced through it. Some appear to be elven, some appear to be human, maybe dwarven, and sort of dangling in between each ear appears to be various teeth.
I just kind of grimace.
You know, it's important to have a hobby, Thula. Keep it up.
I grimace, and then internally Fig is questioning her choices.
Well, gentlemen, let's return to the Darklands, shall we? We have much to report. As they sort of slink off, or at least begin to head out back into the trees.
Well, good news. We don't gotta go back to Kirathungol.
Settle that question.
And you know,
Let's get out of this foul place.
Back home, then.
yeah, back to your
Home, at least.
back to your home, Fig. And hopefully, if we ever run into Thula again, I can leverage our history together.
Perhaps. I'm sure Northriel
Quite
has
right.
taught Maerwyn some elvish words now.
Funny if we got back and she was more proficient in Elvish than you were. Sindarin.
Well, let's get back and we'll talk to Northriel and we'll see if there's anything we can do locally to heal whatever remaining affliction Maerwyn may have, because traveling all the way down to Umbar and then traveling all the way back to Maerwyn.
The narrowed look I'm giving right now is the same look Fig is giving to Cirion after that comment.
What comment did I make?
With the, she will know Sindarin better than you.
Oh. I clicked away to roll 20. I didn't see your look. Sorry.
I know you're fine. Yes, I find it unreasonable to keep having Maerwyn travel like this.
But I think we just got confirmation that the cat's eye is working. If we didn't have it before, the cat's eye is working with Mordu.
We might have to look back at the messages we've collected so far.
Yeah, we'll go down to the parlor and we'll pay a visit to our catty friend.
Oh, that's
But
right.
lead us back home, Fig.
Okay. I will be happy to take us back home. And what you just said just reminded me, because I completely updated my notes with like theories and everything. Where did it go? Do I need to do anything to take us back?
I thought you were looking up your notes for some reason, so I didn't want to.
I found them, but it's,
Okay.
you know, a novel, so it's not like I'm gonna read it all out loud or anything. I'll wait till we, like, find time to discuss or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, can't do that. Tonnel's dead. I had a few questions to ask her. She's dead now.
Awkward. That is awkward.
You're gonna ask a corpse. Don't know if you get a response.
Can we speak with dead?
If you follow The Witcher, the one I did where we talked to the dead.
Get 5 questions. Was that a question? Yes.
Go through a bunch of corpses.
It was such a funny scene.
So after Thula and his company depart, you all quickly discuss next options and decide to head back towards North Rail and, you know, retrieve Maerwyn at probably a bare minimum. Waiting for Fig to sort of take the lead to lead you all back. Fig, you gather your things and look back towards Tonnel's grave, and you see a glowing figure standing to the side of it that almost appears to be wrapped in light and adorned with various green and brown sort of adornments to reflect that of almost nature itself. And you get a feeling of familiarity with that entity that sort of looks to be gazing at the grave. And you just hear a soft voice say, "You are in the dark, now return to the light."
Oh.
And you sort
I
of
will-
see as it sort of almost like wind blowing the whole thing away.
I'll just give a small, soft smile, and then just turn slowly and give a heavy sigh and lead my friends to my home, my second home.
Do I see
Alright.
Fig smile?
Probably, if you're paying attention. I don't think she tried to hide it.
Not really. No.
Seriously, gonna go like, was that a smile I see?
Tonnel is taken care of now.
Yes, yes.
Well, you saw to that, didn't you?
Oh. What?
Fig, you saw to that. You took care of her.
Oh.
No, oh. No, I just saw. Wait, no one else saw that.
So what?
Oh. Oh, Yavanna was just there and
Oh.
is taking care of Tonnel now.
Well, good.
Yeah, that's good.
Things are strange now. I see things you can't see, and I've already been becoming bears. That was weird, and
To be fair,
As long
Fig,
as you
you
can see it.
were always a little weird. From the first day I met you. And I mean that in the nicest way possible.
I understand.
I'm
I've
gonna
known
pat
that.
her on the shoulder and go like, but we still love you. Let's go.
I would rather have no bear go into battle with me.
Okay. Fig, you lead your party back north through the Greenwood on a relatively 2 to 3 day hike back through the woods. While injured and probably exhausted, the return trip is fairly uneventful, and it isn't long until you are guided back across the elven path in the Greenwood in the north and into the Sylvan Elven village that you were brought to mere days before. And you see sitting out in front of the village several elves just sort of going about their day, working on either weaving various fabrics and garments or working through gathering water and just taking care of one another. And there's even a few elven children around that is fairly rare to see in the world of men. Hard to gauge how old they are, but from those in the world of men's perspective, probably 12, maybe 10 or so in terms of age. But you all do what?
None. Noting what you said. I got stuck on elf children. And I was like,
Yes.
what?
Elf children in Lord of the Rings is just like,
Yeah. Aren't they just like born like adults?
Full adults,
Like
yes.
like Athena?
they
Yeah.
come out of cocoons like, I have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
born, mother. Wait, that's
Elves, much like orcs, spawn.
that's okay.
Yeah. How old are you? 50. Wait, you just came out of there. Uh-huh.
What's a second to an elf?
Yeah.
But you do return safely and come to a rather busy village. And as there's a crisscross, if you're coming through what, as you pass through the tree line into this area, from your perspective on your way in, mostly looked like just walking through trees. But as you come through and sort of look behind you, it looks like on the inside that the trees and branches and vines actually warp around to form a bit of like an archway or gateway into this village. And as you initially cross over, it's not probably about 5 steps in, you're actually greeted by Adathor. Well, it looks like you all returned in peace, at least in one piece.
We're back. Yes.
I take it your hunt was successful. As he looks at the Cirion and Malvhor especially, those are some deep lacerations.
Oh yeah.
It's just a
Yes,
scratch, my lord.
Mine's
He
a lot
does.
more than a scratch. If it wasn't for Fig, I'd be dead.
Malvhor does need help, but
I'll walk it
Hmm.
off.
we fought something called the Ringwithel, or a great vampire. Yeah, I was waiting for that face.
The Ringwithil's a very old creature.
So we've
She's been
got
around since the first age.
Well, we
And when he
ended
was
that
just a
streak.
princeling, I'd hardly say so. When he was just a princeling, King Thranduil slain Thringwithil. She's very hard to get rid of from this world.
Oh yeah, she'll
She'll
come back.
return in time.
Yeah, she told us that. She taunted us with that. We were like, doesn't matter, we'll kill you anyway.
Well, I hope for whatever purpose it was for, it was worth it.
Well, we're about to find out. Where's Maerwyn?
I believe she's with Northrail over by the common fire pit.
Ah, thank you. And I'm gonna just make my way over there.
Auditor,
Yes.
there's more. It seems Galad had returned to them.
You see a look on his face of immediate, like, anger. And then he, for a split moment, he regains control of himself. What else? Is he alive?
He is, but it doesn't sound like in the same state that we last saw him as.
I've witnessed many of my kin and brothers die at the slopes of Mount Doom. There's not much in this world, Aaron, that can steal the breath of our people. Steel, fire. Time isn't one of those things, but the only other one is despair and darkness. I fear that if what you're telling me is true, Galad is in a very dire path that he is walking.
We will have to see. One vampire that was slain had said they were connected of sorts, but upon her death, he was now released. But it is hard to take any word of a creature like that to truth, or as truth.
Even in their dying breath, the agents of the enemy will lie to get their way, to instill fear, doubt, and ill content. So it's good of you to not trust it outright. But if you believe Galad is alive, find him. Bring him home, or at the very least, bring him back to you.
Back to me.
The two of you were always together when you were young.
And he was the one that left in the first place.
I don't know the reasoning he had for leaving. I'm not his father. I hardly knew the reason you left. It's not my business, and I won't ask. But if he is heading towards darkness, if he is in despair in any form, you are the closest thing to him in whatever aspect that means. If there's hope for him, it's because of you.
We shall see then. I hope our paths cross, and at the same time, I am afraid of what may happen if they do.
We never really know what's going to happen when time comes. All that matters is how we face it. You can plan, you can prepare, you can think of every angle, and you can still be surprised. A lot can transpire in your lifetime, in mine as well. A lot has transpired in my lifetime. Things I never dreamt would happen. But in those moments, all that matters is what you do with the time you are given. Something lured you away from Greenwood. And by the grace of the Valar, something brought you back here. You're on a path, Aaron. You've been on a path since the day we found you.
You almost thought I was an animal when you found me.
You sure did make a lot of grunts.
That's all I knew how to speak.
Huh. Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't make them myself.
I will do my best to bring Galad home. When I do, and when I bring him back, is there a way to fix this vampirism of sorts?
I'm a ranger. I'm a hunter. I'm a warrior. That's beyond me.
Would Northriel know?
She may, but it's not exactly something we're well in tuned with. I won't say it's not possible. In the early ages, it was seen a lot as a curse. Curses can be broken. But the original ones were perversions, corruption, good turned sour. Seeing how he isn't the source, or wasn't at the beginning, he's one that might be viewed as a curse, and in theory can be broken.
Understood. He always did get himself into trouble.
Well, you definitely didn't help.
This is the look I am giving out of Thor.
He gives you one right back.
Now Cirian's just watching the two of them do a narrowed, staring contest.
Here just goes, here we go again.
He ruffles your head.
How tall is that? I don't remember. It's fine. They're probably both tall enough.
Probably about the same height, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll just kind of give a small grunt and then just kind of smirk a little at the ruff of the head.
Yeah, he ruffles your head and just sort of takes a breath. Cocks his head a little bit. There's something different about you.
Oh, yes. I can be a bear now.
No tiptoeing around it, just I'm a bear now. Identifies a bear.
I met Yavanna.
You met Yavanna?
Or she found me. I don't remember which way now, but it seems my elven name means much more than what we anticipated.
The Valar haven't really made themselves apparent in some time. Sylvan, the Avari. Since we awoke in the east, we haven't seen them. Not much other than the Noldor, those that have been to Valinor and back. Yet she decided to grace you. You actually see like a smile come across his face, one that you don't really see too often in his demeanor.
That's a lot.
Well, if Yavanna is speaking to you or revealing herself to you, then you're on the right path. Stick to it. Go clean yourself up. I feel like the three of you have had quite the adventure so far.
I look down at all of the blood around me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're scaring the children.
They will learn.
They will indeed.
Jesus Christ. I was dark when it came to kids.
Time to learn, kids!
This is what war looks like! Thank you.
Go find Northriel. You're welcome.
We will. Did Malvhor already leave?
I
Is it just
left-
Cirion and I, or
I
you?
left
Okay.
before
Okay.
you even
Left.
started that conversation.
Yup. Then I'll just give a small nod to Cirion and I'll go Malvor's direction to meet up with him.
I'll do like a slight
Sure.
bow to Ottathorn.
He just sort of nods his head
I'll
as the two of
follow
you.
Fig.
As the two of you walk away, Fig, you hear Adathor sort of not shout, but in a bit of a louder tone, so you can hear him. Proud of you, Aaron.
My heart.
Thank you.
Malvhor, you dart away from your companions and move through sort of like the slightly busy common area of the village, and you come to one of the few fire pits that does have a crackling fire. And because I said that, I am now going to play it because
Because you
I
can.
suppose. Yeah, because I can and I will. Sitting around the fire are about 5 other elves, including Northriel. And sitting alongside Northriel is Maerwyn, and Northriel appears to be working with a pestle and mortar of sorts, and the other elves appear to be either working on a sort of a spit of sorts of maybe fish on the fire, and various craft of like weaving and sewing of sorts.
Why are you all covered in blood?
Actually, no. As
What
like
the hell
you're-
happened?
as Fig is like walking past like everyone covered in blood, everyone's just saying, "My Gavanin, Aaron."
Hey, Michael Vaughn.
Hey.
Hey, stop.
Just never. It's so big. I'm not surprised. Just hey.
I'm not
Giovanni.
sure if that's exactly what she would have done, but I'm rolling with it because that was purely instinctive.
Jesus fucking hell.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining Maerwyn right now looking up at nearly keeling over Malvhor covered in.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's been a
you
few
do
days. The
walk up
wounds
to the
aren't fresh, but
That's true, but
I
You're
still
not
look
pretty
fucked.
either.
you're probably caked with some of your own stuff.
In fact, if any of you that took some serious wounds, if you want to, display or say if you have any scarring or actual like remnants of that battle, more than welcome to add that to
Oh,
yourself.
I got plenty of that.
But you do walk up to the fire and you see everyone's sort of gathered around. Maerwyn's actually like working on a bit of appears to be like a crochet of sorts next to
Aw.
Northriel.
Ah,
God, Northriel's gonna freak the fuck out.
hello, Northriel and Maerwyn. Good to see you again.
Oh, you've returned! Oh my, you look terrible.
Nothing. A few nights of rest. Many nights of rest won't.
A few nights of
Drinks.
rest and then a bath or two, perhaps.
But we've come.
Maerwyn sort of looks up. Hi!
Hi, are you enjoying yourself, Maerwyn?
I am. The elves are awesome.
Aren't they?
I don't know if awesome works here, but
Gets good enough.
They are. They are wonderful, are they not?
they are. Oh, what was it? As she looks at Northriel. Go ahead. My Gavanin.
Micah Vanen.
My heart.
So you're when in the Greenwood, why not learn a bit of the tongue?
Why not? You're gonna be able to take that home, and you're gonna be able to tell everyone what you've learned. You're so smart, Maerwyn.
This has definitely been an exciting journey, but how'd your stuff go? You've been
Well-
gone for a few days.
We've completed our first task in the forest, and as you can, we've come back to rest for a well-earned rest. How have you been feeling, Maerwyn?
I've been feeling pretty good. I've been sleeping better. It's peaceful here. You see Northriel sort of like place a gentle hand on her shoulder. She has been doing exceptionally well. In fact, she's probably slept better than she ever has, if I had to venture a guess. And she is the pinnacle of health.
Can I do an insight check to see if Northriel is I don't want to call Northriel a liar, but I mean bedside manners and all, right? Is this just bedside manners
Go
for
for
a child?
Go for it. 20.
Nice.
It's a mix. There is a sense of most of what she's saying is true, but you see sort of in like the facial expressions that she's like sort of giving you a little eye look of like, when we get a moment, let's talk.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna.
I would say just a few days ago that she has been a little, well, a little stag of energy.
Oh, I see you're crocheting something there, Maerwyn. What are you making?
I have no idea.
Let the creative spirit drive you.
That sounds about right.
No goal,
It's supposed to be
wander.
a scarf.
Wander
She saw
to wherever
some of-
you want.
She saw some of Aaron's old toys, and one of which was a crocheted fox. So she wanted to learn how to do that, and well, here we are. Perhaps you can make a saddle blanket for one of your horses back home.
Oh, that is
That
a
would be an
lovely idea.
amazing thing.
I want to show you something, Maerwyn. And I'm going to pull out the silver harp. Look what I discovered in the forest.
Wow. Actually more interesting. Maerwyn immediately looks like enthralled with it. It looks like she's absolutely fascinated with it. More importantly, you see Northrail's eyes get real wide.
What ancient elven treasure did you just whip out?
And you know what? It might be a faux pas, we'll see, but I'm just gonna try to play a quick little ditty on the harp.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a
Now we're
performance
singing
check.
Kumbaya at the fire.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
25!
Tolkien, for anyone out there who doesn't know, it is a completely appropriate and in character to, in the middle of a discussion, just start singing.
Wait, quick! Just pull out, grab one of our books. We have
not-
The Hobbit. Grab The Hobbit and just
Downstairs.
open it to one of I'll be right back.
True, yes.
Downstairs.
In Tolkien's writing, especially The Hobbit, it is perfectly fine just to start singing.
Yep. Tolkien loved poetry, and this is well within the reality.
Now,
so
I'm not singing, I'm
Well
just
done.
playing something.
yeah. 25. You're used to string instruments, but you're definitely more of like a violin of sorts,
Yeah.
or a fiddle. So playing a little bit more with plucking is a little different to you, and you feel out for the tune for a moment. And as you first pluck the strings, your ears sort of are greeted with one of the most beautiful sounds you've ever heard. That the strings themselves, however long they've been sitting there, seem to be still perfectly tuned and carry just a bit of a faint echo upon the wind as you pluck away. And you don't even know what you're playing.
The
at
spirit
first.
of
You
the
just let your
music takes
fingers-
over.
Yeah, you just let your fingers like sort of roam on the strings, and you play one of the most beautiful elven-esque tunes, and to a moment where everyone else just sort of just like quiets down and listens.
Alright, let me just. Oh shit, this is the German version. Hold on.
Way to go.
Yep.
Read
this
it
one.
in German. Read the German version.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Oh, what's this one?
I will say we do not have the rights to read Lord of the
True.
Rings or The Hobbit on stream.
Do
so
not-
tread
yeah.
carefully.
Yeah, don't.
I have not read German
Are we
in
gonna
some
get
time.
sued?
Yeah. Okay.
Tolkien Estate does not fuck around.
Let's see.
I know they
Let's
don't.
see. Let's see.
They're right up there with Disney.
Do you think it's bad enough that I'm showing just the book itself on
No.
stream?
No.
Why can't I find any?
know.
But go read The Hobbit, y'all, or watch the movie.
Yes.
The movie that happens in the movie do.
The movies are really good too. Oh, I found the spider one of all ones.
Excellent. So yeah, you finish playing this short
And
song.
I do get just lost because I got lost in the music, afterwards. I'm just sort of like lost in my own mind for a moment. And then I look up and I was like, oh, what do you think of that, Maerwyn?
Actually, I'll say with that 25 and that music, after everything you guys have been through, everyone can immediately heal 1 shadow point.
Oh shit! Nice.
Let's go.
What?
As it is just refreshing to hear and just take a moment of legitimate tranquility and peace.
I was just gonna ask if we are there now too, because I know we were coming.
You probably
delayed.
you probably walk up.
Yeah,
That's
you're probably
awesome.
coming up at this point. In fact, as you're walking over, you're hearing the music, so you sort of come up in the middle of it, sort of thing. But it carries really well in the area.
I've never heard you play like that.
That was
Wow.
amazing.
Well, honestly, only half of it is skill. The other half is this wonderfully crafted instrument.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill.
15% power of will.
I sometimes hear music in the city, but Mom doesn't play anything. She does talk about in the past she used to hear some of the most beautiful music. It's been a while.
That's nice. Thank you for sharing that with me, Maerwyn. Well,
Northrail sort of speaks up. May I see that briefly? I'll give it right back.
of course. I imagine it's elven in nature to begin with, so I can't say no to you. And I hand it over.
It's not exactly a rare item, but there's definitely some nuances in its craft. Apologies, I amongst healing expertise, I do enjoy a good bit of history. That's what I thought. This is one of the finely crafted silver harps with mithril strings. This actually hails from the long forgotten city of Gondolin.
Ooh.
That is quite the archaeological find as she hands it back to you. I would keep that close.
Oh, I plan on it. Thank you. Well,
After seeing that, Cirion kind of gets curious, like, what about this mirror? Anything?
I can definitely take a look. It's not
I'll take it out of my bag.
any. As you hand it over to her, she takes a look. Well, it's definitely not of any elven make.
If you look into it, you will see the face of your true love, and it's Bardor.
She flips it around. It's only himself. Most elven smiths and crafters imbue a bit of magic into their items to help retain their beauty and their condition. So the fact that this is so tarnished leads me to believe that this is probably hailing from one of the lands of men. This bone here, I've worked with many an animal for medicinal purposes. I believe it's an oliphant, which I've actually never seen in person, but it is a very large creature that resides in the Southlands. I believe Harad. But that's about all I know.
Appreciate your time taking a look at it.
You can probably have it restored. Might take some time, but otherwise you can definitely probably sell it in one of the many settlements in Gondor of the sorts.
well,
Any input's better than none.
Maerwyn, would you mind just waiting here for a moment while we talk to Northrail about things we've encountered in the forest, just to update her.
Okay,
it won't be
yeah,
long.
it gives me some time as she holds up what she's working on, sort of looks at it through the light of the fire. I think I messed up a row.
That
Keep
happened.
at it.
That's the worst
Alright.
part.
She starts undoing bits of what she's done.
And I'm
You-
gonna get up
yeah.
and usher Northrail a small distance away from the fire.
She stands up and follows you and the rest of the group. Well, I take it you're successful upon your return. That or you're cowered out, but considering her condition, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, we were successful with what we set out to do. Give me a full diagnosis. We expect her to not be completely better.
Well, I do have a bit of good news for you. A few days ago, under my observation, the curse appeared to be lifted completely. I don't see any remnants of it, and any of my medicinal herbs to counteract such things appear to have no effects any longer, so I believe she's in the clear there. Now, as far as the underlying health issue, I was able to fully ascertain what that was prior to the curse being lifted. Several decades ago, in sort of northern Gondor region, there was a great plague, and that's actually quite literally what people in history refer to it as. It was a sickness that befell many and decimated a lot of the population. I'm sure, she gestures to the two Gondorians, I'm sure you're familiar and to some degree.
Yeah.
More in the south of Gondor, this didn't get near as bad, or in fact, it didn't spread as far. So most of the population in the north either succumbed to it, or those that were immune never got it, or the healers were able to catch up. It seems that Maerwyn has contracted whatever the strain of the Great Plague was. And coming from what I can tell, a port city, this isn't entirely surprising. I'm sure she's been exposed to a lot, and without a proper healer around, it's more than likely that she just contracted it and is just now beginning to show symptoms.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think she just contracted it. I think she was intentionally infected with it.
It is possible. I noticed on her arm she had many punctures along the arm that appear to have healed over, prodding, needles, that sort of thing in whatever was happening prior to now. So there's a chance that there was an infection that was carried from there that might have brought it over, either unintentionally or intentionally. It's hard for me to say.
Well, we know who did it to her, and I'm pretty confident it was intentional.
Well, that being said, the Great Plague at this point is actually fairly treatable. In fact, I've already had her on a medicine for the past 2 days, and she should be right as rain in the next week or so.
Northriel, that was the best thing you could have told me.
Even Fig is like visibly like shoulder sagging into relaxation. I'm just like, fucking finally.
You have saved us a trip to Umbar, potentially. Of all places.
Well, I won't pretend to understand where your journeys will take you next, but I'm glad I was able to help. She should be perfectly fine. She actually pulls out a few vials, like 4 vials of probably about that big, and hands them over as they sort of clank together. On your return trip, just give her, well, either on a return trip, or will you be staying with us for a bit, or will you head out to meet
definitely, if you'll have us, we'll stay. Then I gesture to my chest that's been rended open and then healed up and partially bandaged.
Fantastic. I love having guests, but I would not let you leave here without having that treated. So, I don't have to get mean.
You don't. I like suddenly stiffen and I look at the two of them and go, you don't want to see her mean.
Tyrion just goes wide-eyed, like, take nice, please.
We'd love to have you. You haven't lived until you feasted under the stars here in the Greenwood.
Oh, I'm gonna love it here.
That is
There
true,
drinks?
actually.
There's a wine, yes.
I'm in.
I will not put you to bed this time under a tree if you go too far.
I'm still in.
Have her take one of these every day until we run out, and she should be perfectly fine.
Such good news. This
Fuck.
healing her has been an ordeal. but it's been worth it.
Well, I won't make any ill remarks against the healers of Gondor, but
There's only one
they
good
didn't
healer.
handle the Great Plague well the first time.
There's only one great healer in Gondor, and she's an elf. Manayame.
Oh, I am familiar, yes.
Yes, she's the only healer of any skill that I know of.
Yes, she came from Lorien, I believe. Her and I crossed paths a bit some years ago.
Well,
Small Middle Earth.
It used to be bigger.
yeah, it did.
It used to be large Earth.
Did you
And
drink the
flatter.
wine already?
No, as I pull out like a small little pouch.
Where did you? I can't even.
Well, I look
Go away.
forward. After our journey, I look forward to being able to rest.
Well, I encourage you to go find some water, and there's a river back that I encourage you to wash up in. I can definitely tend to those wounds after you get them well and cleaned, and just return to the hut. I will make sure that you're all attended to.
Thank you, Northriel.
I'll give Northriel a hug.
Oh, she returns it immediately in like one of the tightest embraces that you ever get in your life.
And I'll end up like squeezing back a little. And then I'll let go.
You let go, and she does that thing where she like still holds on to you, but she like outstretches her arms and looks at you. You've changed.
Oh yes. I just told Audathor I can be a bear now.
Sure you can, dear. Come on.
That was the such mom of yes, dear, yes you can.
And you're the bestest bear
Biggest,
ever.
fiercest bear I've ever seen.
No, I've
No,
I'm
like
sure you can. Come. Let's get you washed up. I think you're a little tired from journeying.
Oh, I'll show you when I'm after a nap.
Yes, it's time for your nap.
let's get you to bed.
I can't with this fucking session anymore.
You know what? On that note, we're gonna take a break.
Yeah, that might be best. It's having too much meat. Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna grab some wine now.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Salutations, listeners. My name is Professor Benjamin O'Toole of the Waterdeep University and Arcane Institute. I'm known for being an educator, philanthropist, gentleman, adventurer, researcher, and now a conservationist. I wish to express my concern as of late in regards to the dwindling population of the majestic owlbear. These beautiful creatures are all too often poached and hunted by so-called adventuring parties for resources like hides, arcane focuses, foci, and experience. Here at the O'Toole Owlbear Conservation, we are making a difference with our foster and breeding programs by taking in orphaned cubs? No, chicks. Juvenile owlbears. Our volunteers work closely with the owlbears in our care until they are of age and suitable for the reintroduction to the wild. Without our, and potentially your, intervention in this matter, owlbears could very well disappear from our forests. So, how can you help us in our effort in preserving the Aves mammalia? You can get involved in this effort by symbolically adopting one of our owlbear juveniles. Your donation will go straight to their support and care. Take a tour of our facilities and read our various literatures to educate yourself on this wonderful creature. Write to the Lord or Lady of your land and encourage policies that protect such wildlife. Learn Druidic magic and swear to the safeguard of the wilds and all the creatures that live inside of it, vowing to the defense against the brutal adventuring parties who go hunting for these gentle creatures in such a barbaric manner. And in that vow, you follow an ancient Druidic path that eventually eventually lead you to the spirit of the forest, and they bestow upon you the power to take back the lands that once belonged to the beast and the bird that roam upon this realm. Recycle. Please help us in this noble effort. For more information, please direct all correspondence via a sending spell to the Office of Conservation at the O'Toole Owlbear Conservation. For inquiries regarding my research, Adventuring Days, my latest publication, speaking opportunities, private lessons, book club, and knitting circle, please forward your sending spell to the office of Sir Benjamin O'Toole of the Waterdeep University and Arcane Institute. The O'Toole Conservation name, logo, and image are all protected licensure and owned by O'Toole Philanthropy. Use of this without the express written consent of Sir Benjamin O'Toole could result in legal action, a failed death save, a gentleman's acknowledgement of a worthy adversary for being outfoxed, and or loss of consortium. Side effects of druidic magic can include uncontrollable vine growth, a sudden fascination of fungi, inability to revert from wild shape, body odor, an acquired taste for good berries, splinters, tanking for the party, depression, and or becoming one with the elements. The O'Toole Conservation is not responsible for anyone being maimed, eaten, killed, or disfigured by anyone attempting to approach owlbears. Please do not contact our officers with liability claims. We will cast silence. We mean it. Casting and speaking with animals within our facilities is strictly prohibited except by authorized personnel. We will take legal action.
Ooh, I'm a bear, I'm a bear, I'm a bear, I'm a bear. I'm a bear, I'm a bear, I'm a bear, I'm a bear.
Haste.
I'm a bear.
Pack. We need
Rise.
to leave.
I'm a bear, I'm a bear, I'm a bear. Look at me bearing around.
Burn! And latch onto you. You take 5 shadow damage.
This is not the hug I wanted. Alright, let's make attacks at him.
Roll them dice.
You missed my birthday, bitch!
Probably go up on sale tomorrow. My donut! I got it. I lost it. I dropped my donut.
Talks amongst yourselves.
Yeah, so I think
Are we there yet?
that way might work.
Are we there yet?
Kevin, you're fired.
Don't have us talk amongst ourselves then.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a role-playing game. Said the thespian.
Meh. Oh no.
In Lindsayisms.
Audience meh? Chat meh? Oh my god.
I think you've lost it.
I need to stop doing things on stream. Adventure. Just like that. Health back. Go back. How is everyone? I'm doing. Why are they back?
You hear something.
Thank God I am half in the tank.
I shall stand with you. Shit, you're on your own.
Hail, adventurer. Are you a dungeon master with a desire to transport your players to fantastical settings? Perhaps they are deep in the dungeon of a mad lich.
Fools, you've intervened for the last time. Let's see you survive my fireball.
Or perhaps the party has just come across bandits, and the Goliath monk releases a flurry of blows and a stunning strike to gain control of the conflict. Nice rolls on the attack. Or maybe the party is taking a breather after another difficult quest. If this sounds like something you want at your next TTRPG session, then head over to battlebards.com. By subscribing to BattleBards Prime, you get the ability to immerse your players in your campaign. You'll get complete streaming access to the libraries of both BattleBards and Platemail games. And whether your game is in person or virtual, you won't be limited, as you will have access to a caster and a mixer to be able to broadcast the tracks to all of your players. And of course, if you want to download and keep any tracks, then you get 20% off all in-store purchases. So what are you waiting for, adventurer? A quest posting at the local guild hall? Get over to battlebards.com and subscribe today, and use the coupon code ADVENTURE at checkout. Stay proficient, adventurers.
Salutations, listeners. My name is Professor Benjamin O'Toole of the Waterdeep University and Arcane Institute. I'm known for being an educator, philanthropist, gentleman, adventurer, researcher, and now a conservationist. I wish to express my concern as of late in regards to the dwindling population of the majestic owlbear. These beautiful creatures are all too often poached and hunted by so-called adventuring parties for resources like hides, arcane focuses, foci, and experience. Here at the O'Toole Owlbear Conservation, we are making a difference with our foster and breeding programs by taking in orphaned cubs? No, chicks. Juvenile owlbears. Our volunteers work closely with the owlbears in our care until they are of age and suitable for the reintroduction to the wild. Without our, and potentially your, intervention in this matter, owlbears could very well disappear from our forests. So, how can you help us in our effort in preserving the Aves mammalia? You can get involved in this effort by symbolically adopting one of our owlbear juveniles. Your donation will go straight to their support and care. Take a tour of our facilities and read our various literatures to educate yourself on this wonderful creature. Write to the lord or lady of your land. Encourage policies that protect such wildlife. Learn Druidic.
Welcome back. Hope you're all enjoying it so far. Thank you so much for being here and being you. It's so fantastic and helpful for us. We appreciate it. Announciementcios. We have not picked a giveaway game for June yet. We should have one by Friday, I hope. Otherwise, everyone can yell at me for committing to that and then not pulling it out by them. But regardless, subscribers here on Twitch for the month of June, you're automatically entered for a chance to win a free game from us. The game is usually worth way more than a sub for what it's worth. The last month was Death Stranding, so we'll figure out what that's going to be for this month. Other than that, if you haven't heard, we released a special episode of Vicious Mockery, our podcast that you can find on Spotify, iTunes, pretty much anywhere. In that episode, we talk about Extra Life. One, for the very important reason that we will be doing Tabletop Appreciation Weekend again this year. We skipped it last year because travel really conflicted with what we were doing. But we will be back this year to do a 24-hour stream for Extra Life. So we got a lot of fun things planned for that. So mark your calendars for that day, which is August 19th.
19th to the 20th.
Woo! Off the top of my head, look at that.
We'll double check.
Cool. So.
Yes.
But I think that's pretty much all of our announcements right now, unless I'm forgetting something. So I'm just letting this epic music play out. It sounded like at the end of the first half of our session that we're sort of edging towards a fellowship phase here in the Greenwood. Is that correct? Uh-huh. Yes, please, my lord.
Please help us cure our shadow points.
Yep. So, fellowship phases, for anybody who doesn't know, audience out there, is a point in time in the journey that the fellowship or the players sort of take a moment of respite to relax, focus on something, things where they're not out and doing like their active adventuring or endeavoring in some quest. They can sort of take a break, essentially a mini vacation, but they can do undertakings that will help and benefit them in some way. But this is a moment for the players to really take over and drive their narrative. So I take a back seat and they sort of tell me what they're doing, who they interact with, why they're doing it, and we'll RP things from there. There might be some checks involved, but that's essentially what we're going to do now. And players, normally, I give you a heads up when there's going to be a fellowship phase. Didn't do that. So
I think we all know what we want to do anyways.
which is fine. So if you don't know your undertakings, we'll take the time and walk through that and see what you guys want to do. But as an aside, I've been sort of thinking through how we've done fellowship phases in the past and how I've sort of like preloaded them in advance, saying, hey, when you get here, you're probably gonna have a fellowship phase sort of thing. I kind of want to start putting that ball in your guys' court because I'm starting to think that fellowship phases are too infrequent. So I feel like it should be on you guys to determine when it's appropriate for you guys to stop and do what you want to do. And not every fellowship phase has to go for weeks on end. It could be a day. If it's really just something simple like, hey, we just got to this town, let's just quickly reprieve sort of thing. Because looking through a lot of the undertakings, I got the vibe from them that if you're doing this fairly infrequently, a lot of these are useless.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and if we do them infrequently, most of them are just going to be to reduce shadow.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to move away from me dictating when they are and have you guys tell me when you want them.
Bitch, we're gonna do this.
Now, obviously, there's some guide rails there to be like, if you get to a certain place, like we want to take a fellowship phase, I could very well say you can't really do it here, or
why not?
Or every location where you would do a fellowship phase, not every undertaking might be available, or each one might have unique undertakings. So that's just how we're gonna do it. So I want to put that ball in your court and just have you guys tell me when you want them, essentially, since it is supposed to be the player driving their narrative during fellowship phases. So I think it's only right for you guys to dictate that. So if you disagree, let me know. We can discuss it. But that's kind of how I want to view it moving forward. Let's see if you guys hear this track, because for the longest time, we didn't hear it. But let's just go into fantasy ambience. There it goes. Do we hear anything?
No.
It didn't even show up in tracks played.
This track is broken. Okay, fine. Fine, we'll do this one. Because why not?
Burps? Sounds like oh. Found it.
Patience. So, part of the fellowship phase is going to be how long you're doing it for. So how long do you guys wish to stay in the Greenwood to recoup and relax before heading on to your return journey?
I think
I think a week.
Like we all want. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
I was saying, I think a week.
Is that one undertaking then, or could that be two?
I guess it depends on the undertakings we're looking for in certain cases. I'm assuming, just based on whispers on the wind, that you're looking to open a sanctuary.
I would like
I'm guessing.
to.
Yes.
I would say with the pre-established relationship and the very friendly, warm welcome you've had here, opening this particular village in the Greenwood as a sanctuary would take a day. So you could definitely do one other undertaking each, because opening a sanctuary as an undertaking requires the entire fellowship to take that undertaking.
Oh.
This was another reason why I figured fellowship phases were too infrequent. Because certain ones like this one require the entire fellowship to do one, and if you're only doing one undertaking,
that will never happen.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of defeated sanctuaries.
That will never happen.
So I'm gonna pull up the, because I believe that's all in the player's guide.
Malvor's gonna crochet with Maerwyn a horse blanket.
Pretty much.
I'll say if you're doing a week, you can do one undertaking and open the sanctuary if everyone agrees to it. But let me double check and make sure I'm not making that shit up. In order to open a settlement as a sanctuary, the company must already have established friendly relations. Check.
I got fam.
And any leaders there during the adventuring phase. I pretty much would say Adathor is one of the probably prominent leaders.
I mean, yeah, he's the badass.
Having done so, the whole party can spend a fellowship phase at the settlement together, meeting the residents and firmly establishing their welcome. From that point on, player heroes may treat the settlement as a sanctuary, allowing them to take especially effective long rests there, as well as restoring certain special abilities. The Loremaster's guide has more information on sanctuaries.
Sounds like we're already halfway there.
Yeah.
Not more.
So when you guys originally arrived here, if you had a more harrowing journey here, you guys had a fairly smooth one.
That's right.
Despite this still being friendly, you technically probably couldn't take a long rest here, but this one being a sanctuary will allow that and give you extra benefits if you were to ever return here.
Okay.
So, if that is something you're all willing to do, we can say that. Okay.
Sanctuary!
Unless anyone vetoes, speak now, forever hold your peace.
I'm done.
I do. No, okay.
Fig, Cirion, shut the fuck up.
Wait, Cirion says, I do. Fig transforms into a bear. Never mind.
No, Northreal gives you the mean look.
It's like, you transform to the bear, then she gives me the mean look. Malvhor is just Malvhor.
That's when Adathor just goes.
Just like the sniff. Sorry, bro.
Don't look at me,
definitely
kid.
that kind of relationship.
I'm not helping you out here, kid.
Ick.
No, Malvhor gets to.
I risked my fucking life to go through Shelob's lair, Kirathungul, and fighting a vampire for you, and you can't do this for me.
He's working on your tavern.
The agreement was a tavern of ale, so...
I'm right. Fine.
He's 20 gold richer, so...
Oh, is that gold split already?
Yeah, I mean, we just said 20
no.
gold each way.
Yeah, we said 20 gold each way.
Okay, Fig is going to split 10 of that between the two of you.
Oh, so you're not taking any money.
No, because if you give Fig that much gold, she's just gonna be like.
Oh, so wait, are you only
So
taking
you're
10?
5.
I'm giving 5 to Cirion and 5 to Malvhor, so I'm
Okay.
keeping 10.
Okay.
Because the way I imagine it is, you'll give her the gold and she'll be like, no, I don't need this much, and I'm sure the two of you will be like, you're gonna need it for something, and then she'll just be like, honey cakes, and then just keep 10 of the gold.
Fig struggles with numbers higher than 10. I don't know.
She's not dumb.
I might be putting words into Fig's brain. What's Fig's int?
Her 10. It's base.
That's average. Yeah, that's average. You can count just fine.
She's not dumb. It's her charisma.
Okay.
I hear myself echoing it.
So you guys You can tell me essentially how you want to do it, and maybe Fig is essentially leading it, but your group first undertaking will be to establish this Sylvan village as a sanctuary. You can call it Fig's home for short. If
Yeah,
you
that's
want.
what I called in my notes.
Okay.
Fig home.
Mm-hmm.
Fig bear phone home.
With that, and your week here, you all have time to spend amongst the people and amongst yourself to do an undertaking of your choosing. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first because I know what I want to do.
Okay.
I'm going to seek to recover shadow points.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that by spending time with Maerwyn, caring for Maerwyn, and just learning more about Maerwyn, deepening that relationship. Because, you know, this was the whole reason I was fighting. This was the whole reason we came up here. And so it fills Malvhor with a lot of hope. But that we've been successful, and if we can save one life, we can save many more. We can do great good. Or at least that's my hope.
So you spend essentially your week with Maerwyn and just sort of do self-reflection, looking inward of the events that have transpired, and hoping that saving this one innocent life is a beacon that will lead you to do much greater good in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, is music still playing?
Yes.
Yes.
Fuck. Okay, never mind.
I need a refresh.
Anyway, for self-reflection, Malvhor, unless you have a different sort of way you want to do that for yourself, I would ask for an insight check.
Insight.
If you're doing like sort of self-reflection to sort of rationalize the things that you've gone through and come to sort of like an inner peace about it.
Does it have to be self-reflection? Could it be seeing the happiness and joy of a child and spending time with potentially my child fill me with hope?
Sure. Don't know what check that would be.
Could I make an argument for persuasion or just a flat charisma check?
You can give charisma with your proficiency. Couldn't think of the word.
With my proficiency, but not expertise. Okay, that's gonna essentially. I'm just gonna roll a performance check then, because that's the right number.
Okay.
$26.
26. So throughout the week, if you want to delve into any more detail on how this transpires for you, but with a 26, I realize I'm speaking off mic, you sort of quietly observe and take in this sort of precious moment with potentially your child, and go to that like parent side of your brain and think about what could have happened, what would have transpired had you not gone down this path, the things that you faced, the horrors you had to brave for one little innocent being in this world. And there were many times throughout your journey as you reflect on all this that you absolutely wanted to turn back. You wanted to be done with this, that there was an insurmountable task in front of you, and that there was no points. The numbers and rationale between it all of if there is something more nefarious here, that Maerwyn's life is a drop in the drop of water in the ocean. It's seemingly irrelevant, but there is that what if she's mine? What if there's more to this? And you see Maerwyn just sitting by the fire from day in, day out, working on this crochet as she continues to actually make what appears now to be a blanket of a almost like amber gold sort of coloration. And you just feel a warmth in the center of your chest. And you feel like regardless of the outcome and what might lead you from here, that you can sleep soundly at night knowing that you did something right and it's not important what others might perceive it as. And that brings you peace. And with a 26, you may go ahead and remove 4 shadow points.
I'm fresh as a newborn babe.
Yikes!
And I think at some point, Malvhor will work up the courage, which is interesting considering that he's talking to a child. And he's going to, one of the days, he's going to sit next to Maerwyn, and he's going to be like, mind if I try my hand at crocheting with you?
Oh,
Sure, I'm not terribly good at it yet.
Well, a secret between you and me, I've never done it before, so I'll probably be just as new as you.
Well, Northriel's actually a pretty good teacher, but these things, she holds up like the 2 sticks, are the hook in the eye.
well,
Lindsay,
if
bail
it's
me out here.
crocheting, it's just 1 hook. If
Just
you're doing
one
the
hook.
2 needles, then you're knitting.
Right, but there's two utensils to crocheting though, right?
No, it's 1
There's
hook.
only one.
With your hand. Yeah. If you're thinking of knitting, I think.
Oh, I swear I've seen you use 2 things.
No, not for crocheting. It's always 1.
You caught me. I don't know the technicals. I didn't do the research for this. The one aspect of
Crochet knowledge here.
DMing, I didn't fucking do it.
It's all good. It's all good.
Immersion, ruin. No, it's fine.
But crocheting is gonna be easier for Maerwyn to learn anyway, so just get that visualization out of your head of the 2 tools and stick with just 1.
Yeah, crochet,
Okay.
generally from my experience, having never done it, is easier.
Crocheting is the only like mindfulness activity that shuts my brain off. So I do it
I'm gonna grab a hook. I'm gonna grab some material, and I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna try and make. You know what? I'm gonna be ambitious. I'm gonna try and make a sweater.
Just give me a dexterity check.
And I hope this is terrible, because that would be funny. 16.
16.
Why aren't you lower?
Oddly enough, you have a 10-year-old trying to guide you, and you've never done this before, and you're actually trying to do something fairly difficult. You probably get about a third into it. Over the course of the week, you get pretty close to finishing, with Northriel sort of like interjecting every now and again and sort of guiding, but you do get a clothing item that you realize by the end of it isn't to your size, so you're not quite sure who you were making this for.
It's a trendy crop top for Maerwyn.
The head hole is way bigger than what it normally needs to be. The torso is too short, and the arms are really baggy. So it's just like kind of all over the place.
It looks like a sweater, but the proportions are off.
You did complete it. Yeah, you did complete it.
Completed it. You tried.
What do you think,
You got
Maerwyn?
yeah.
What do you think, Maerwyn? Should I try it on?
It's totally a crop top.
Thank God, glove.
She'll be super fit and trendy with the other kids.
She puts it on, and she basically looks like she's wearing the little tan suit that Grogu wears in the Mandalorian. It's just way too big for her, and it doesn't make any sense. But she just sort of looks it over and looks at you. She's like, "It's warm."
It's a sweater dress.
There you go. Or a snuggie.
I have invented the snuggie.
There you go, everybody.
It's a blanket combined with a sweater.
Yeah. Oh, like
It's a blanket with
throw.
arms. That way you don't have to worry about tucking yourself in, and you're just always wrapped in the cloth.
Or what is that? Like a throw hoodie, or a hoodie throw, or like a blanket hoodie, or whatever it's called. Sleep sack.
I don't know. But you can keep that, Mao, and do whatever you want with it. It's a gift.
Thanks.
Your blanket looks
That's not
much.
how she responds. It's just how I wanted to respond.
Your blanket looks much better.
I could have taken it the other way and said you made something that when it fits on her, it's almost like she's Kenny from South Park.
Oh God.
Anyway.
And that
But
is
the two of you,
yeah, that's my downtime activity.
the two of you spend a week of bonding and crocheting. So, in the midst of that, if there was anything you actually like, any actual conversation you wanted to have with her, you're more than welcome to have that.
No, like I'm not gonna broach any serious subject with Maerwyn without Goldwyn around.
Maerwyn, am I your dad?
Maerwyn, I am your father.
Would you like me to be your dad?
That's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Yeah. Crossing the streams. Right. Who's next?
Me, I guess.
Go for it.
Cirion, what would you like to do?
I like to heal Shadow, please.
Dream about Bardor.
One shadow, please.
And that's how I heal it.
Like we're joking, but you could be serious about it
I was gonna say, like, that could totally work.
by like reflecting on what like Bardor stands for, and like either do a sketch or write a poem.
Remembering how
or...
great he looks walking towards you and away. God damn.
It is Pride Month.
It is Pride Month. You know, could make this official.
Look, I don't overtly advertise which NPCs are romanceable. You have to find it yourself.
Hey, I miss Ruthiel.
She is currently a wee lass.
Ruthiel was bae. Anyway, back on the rails. Back on the rails. I would like to heal Shadow.
How would you like to? What does Cirion do in this week to sort of get his mind right?
Cyrion's going to do a combo of two things. He's going to sword spar with some of the elves, just kind of repolish his skills. Just after fighting the vampire and I wouldn't say Shelob, but just kind of going to Karathungel, he's just kind of like, you know, my skills need work. You know, I haven't had. I've been struggling against all kinds of fucking monsters in this fucking world, so I want to hone up my skills a little bit. It's just what makes him happy. He's a soldier. He's a captain. You know, doing that kind of thing is just what makes him happy. And then kind of like after, he's just gonna chill and just get to know the elves of the Greenwood.
Okay. Go ahead. Say for sparring and sort of. Well, if you're doing sort of two things here, so I'll let you choose. You can either make your check with sparring and do an athletics check, or you can sort of just be amongst the elves and mingle and absorb their culture and give me a persuasion check for the charisma.
Can I argue traditions if I'm getting to absorbing their culture and everything and, you know, hanging out with them, getting to know them, you know, kind of like absorbing the culture a little bit?
I'll say yes.
All right, I think I'll do the intermingling.
All right. 19. So even in the midst of sparring, you're actually doing it from a student perspective and learning the elven swords and weapons and their forms and everything. Bardo, or not Bardo, god damn it.
Bardo strides out of the forest. Cirion. I can't do his voice. I've been looking for you, Cirion.
Careless Whisper plays in the background. Roll credits.
The wind is blowing to like have his hair just kind of what's it called? Just like be a little windswept, and he's coming in on a white steed. And everything.
That's Barador, by the way. And if he is not the most handsome NPC in this campaign, I don't know who is.
You should hear the voice Brian has for him.
L'Oreal, because he's worth it.
Yes.
Adathor. Actually,
Cirion has to shake his head because he thought he saw Barador, but it's actually Adathor. It was like a mirage.
I actually do this now for doing all this shit.
This is great. I'm dead.
Adathor, when he's in the village, will actually spends time with you for sort of sparring and just sort of taking lessons and tips from him. And in that, you sort of learn more about him in particular. That he definitely was not joking when he alluded to being at least over 1,000 years old, because he actually recounts events at the Battle of the Last Alliance that he was present for, and that he is one of the older warriors in Greenwood who remembers the previous king and not Thranduil. He remembers Thranduil more as a prince than he does a king. But being a veteran of that war, he is absolutely able to show you various fighting techniques and how elven swords are balanced differently than Gondorian swords. Beyond that, just spending time around the elves and sort of absorbing their culture and their way of life, especially how they've been very welcoming to you and your fellowship. It does give you a sense of camaraderie between Adathor as a fellow warrior, but almost a sense of home from the whole village itself. With a 19, you remove 2 shadow points.
Ooh. And then there was 1.
Is there anything else you wish to do that's not undertaking specific? Anybody you specifically want to talk to? Anything else that you would sort of like narrate that Cirion does in this time?
Cirion wants to talk to Adathor a little bit after hearing his battle and his experience and everything. Adathor, if I may pick your brain of something that's been haunting me.
Yeah, what's that?
This chat that I'm a part of, it's just going off the rails. What do I do in that scenario when that happens?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, don't break the fourth wall. Don't break the fourth wall.
I killed Lindsay.
I can't. I'm supposed to go after all this shit. Don't mind us.
It's hard not to a little
Oh
bit.
my god.
If I may. I'm done looking. I'm turning my thing away after that. God damn. Okay.
Phrasing.
I'm out of wine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Is this what happens when we haven't played in over a week?
Liz just nuked chat.
That's probably for the best. That's a good DC. That's a good DC.
Yeah, really.
If I die, I will stop making
Put away
innuendos.
so I can't look at chat during this, cause fuck.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Or if I may.
I'm
Pick
dead.
your
I'm gonna
brain.
stop making innuendos.
Yep, I'm dead. Okay.
As you know, I was a captain of the Citadel. Fell. And can't help but just look back on my failure. I couldn't protect it.
Failure is a long thing in life. Very rarely do you escape it without any sense of failure in any regard, really. My people have been around a lot longer than yours, and I myself have been around a lot longer than you. My people have failed spectacularly in so many ways. Whether it's the sundering of Belleran, or the crafting of the three rings from Celebrimbor. Failure is a part of life, Cirion. And while Minas Ithil fell, you weren't the only one there that day. You weren't the only one who fought and chose survival over death. Because at the end of the day, as noble as it is to die for one's people, to die for one's symbol, kingdom, king, what have you, another body is just that. More carrion for the birds and more fertilizer for the ground. It serves no other purpose. And while it is a circle of life, your death back there to fight and defend to the bitter end would have ended in the same result. Minas Ithil would still be under control of the enemy, and you wouldn't be here making a difference in other aspects. That failure that you perceive was beyond your control. You were against odds that weren't anything that you could actually do anything about.
I was visiting Lady Maniame. She saw the regret that I faced. And she told me not to thoroughly blame myself. And trying to work at that. I couldn't help thinking, if I led the men better, if I fortified more of the city's defenses, the Citadel's defenses.
You can't get caught up in what you should have done or what you didn't do. Doesn't matter, it's over. All that matters is what you do with your life after. Use it. Make a difference. Don't let it go to waste. One of our
Yes, sir.
own. One of our own centuries ago. Fought and died to defend his people. Luckily, he was graciously returned to us by the act of the Valar. But Glorfindel doesn't waste that second life, that second chance. Running headlong into things only gets you killed, and not learning from things might not get you killed, but it'll get the ones looking at you killed.
Right. A second chance at this. I had a chance to lead Gondor's men once more in defense of the city. Felt like old times. Why I took mercenary work. I wouldn't have to face the disgrace again of failing as a captain, failing my men. Once more, taking the captain role, defending the city, not letting it fall. To a threat I wasn't even sure existed. Leading the men, getting them back on their feet. Felt right. Potentially abandon this mercenary life once more. And possibly retake the helm as a captain of Gondor.
It's a noble effort. Because when it comes to the past events and what transpired that day, doesn't matter who gets hit with an orc arrow. It doesn't matter what guard forgot to close the gate. It's not up to you. It's war. You've done right by your men that day. And you've done right as he gestures towards your companions several feet off. And you've done right by them up till now. You got them this far.
You're right. I'll take the skills that I learned through here, and our talk, and make the most of the second chance now.
See that you do. I've seen plenty of your men years ago run headlong into fights they could not win. And the results just as you expect.
Yeah.
I believe your kingdom's still reeling from a few of those.
Never quite properly healed, I'll tell you that.
It never does heal properly.
You know, it was a good cure for that. Fine.
Not for me. Ever vigilant.
Or for me then tonight. My head back on straight.
Enjoy it while you can.
And then Cirion just kind of reflects on that talk after a time. And kind of uses that to nullify a lot of his regret and kind of change a little bit more of his outlook.
Okay. Vigdis, Erandil, Bjarn's daughter.
Erin Randil. There's an
Yes.
extra syllable.
My problem is that I have to do it all from memory, so if I don't have the word in front of me, I go off of what I think it
Yep.
sounds like.
Okay. I am also going to heal corruption. G.
Man, it's like you guys got bitch
Like that
slapped
was-
with it or something.
Yeah. The way I'm going to do it is by just purely enjoying the fact that I am back home with family. I haven't seen Northreel and Ottathor in some time, and now that things are kind of slowing down and allowing a big like breath of fresh air now that Maerwyn is feeling better and everything. There's just time to just be present and enjoy what's currently around, especially the fact for being back home. So there's going to be lots of nights of catching up with Ottathor and Northriel and just enjoying being back in their own unique presences, and also their own and also being back in the presence that the two of them make as the weird ass couple that they are. So she'll like spend some time. No, I'll start there. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
I'm trying to figure out a check for that. Because that's all fine and warm and fuzzy and wholesome, which is great.
All warm, fuzzy, wholesome stuffs.
I would say a traditions check. Unless you are attempting something else by doing this.
I don't know if I can argue nature enough unless narratively spending some of that time with Ottathor doing what the two of them used to do all the time together, kind of a few little bits of hunting and going out in nature together and wandering, if that might be enough. If not, I can do traditions.
If that's how you want to do it, that can be survival as well.
They're the same. I can do survival, I guess. Where's my traditions? I'm blind. Oh, there it is.
It's as +0. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. I'm fine with whatever makes the most sense, because I know there's a lot I have in mind of what she's doing in terms of activity, so...
Yeah, so like what you described you're doing, you can definitely do the entirety of the week. It's more or less which aspect of that is the thing that might be stress relieving and bring you peace, sort of thing. And that's what the check is going to be.
Okay.
So it can be traditions if you're spending it with like family and just sort of chatting. It can be survival if you decide to like, let's go hunt with Ottathor and do a patrol if that's sort of like relaxing to you because it brings back those memories. It can be nature if you sort of want to spend time by the river and just sort of be and like meditate and zone out sort of thing.
So it's kind of like all of the above for pure nostalgia's sake. So I think I'll stick with traditions in that regard for...
You can obviously do all that, so I would say pick one that's probably the main focus. I'm trying to not screw you over with a +0 roll.
I know, and I'm trying to stay honest too, because I'm not trying to like metagame the system or anything.
The undertakings are in the player's handbook, so the DC isn't a secret. You have to beat a 13.
Oh.
So take that for what it's worth.
I'm going to do nature because I see it as the all-encompassing, like, hanging out with Ottathor out in the wild, whether they hunt or do other things, like going back to some spirituality roots together, since he is the one that's taught her all of that. Okay. And then I also, the fact that they're within the Greenwood already just makes her comfortable and feel at home and nostalgic. And then with Northriel and who she is and what she does as a healer with lots of herbology and medicine and whatnot, she is happy to be around that as well, and kind of potentially chatting with her more about what's new, different, what's been learned, and what even she might have to share also. And that will probably be most of the days, and then the nights, like after dinner or something, will be the classic chilling at home with tea or something and hanging out.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a nature check then. Before I forget, because I completely meant to do it at the when we returned. Shadow points.
Oh.
For anyone who might be new. Holy hell.
Yay! It's good to be home!
It is very good to be home. Natural 20 for a total of 23 because skill checks. Shadow points. I'll address that in a second.
That's fine.
Are a mechanic in Adventures in Middle Earth. We're not using them as written in the book because we used them in the last campaign, and I've sort of overhauled them a bit. But basically, shadow points are the corruption and oppressive presence of Sauron and the enemy that sort of influences the player characters as they go through harrowing events or go through corrupted lands and things like that. So the way we use them is that when a character gets 2 shadow points, and every 2, they immediately roll a hit die, and whatever that number is, it comes off of their hit point ceiling, and they lose that hit die until they heal corruption. So that's essentially what they're doing because they just got bitch slapped with it. So those of you that have healed your corruption, you can get those hit dice back now if you haven't, and you can increase your ceiling again back to your full if you're under 2.
I'm back.
Natural 20 for a total of 23 fig.
Well, that was nice.
So you're at home, and this is a feeling you haven't had in a long time since leaving, and you weren't quite sure if you'd ever return here, and even if you did, when that would be. So you find yourself back here probably a lot earlier than you expected yourself to be.
Mm-hmm.
And considering the events of the past few months, you're really grateful. And to be among family and be home and just feel that familiar sort of air of the forest, and even the very temperature of the river. There's just something about this river that just sort of is refreshing, but it's just cold enough then that you sort of recognize it from the rest of the like from the Anduin. And it's just a lot of serenity and being amongst family and just sort of hoping these moments never leave. With a 23, you still only heal 2 shadow points.
What?
If you
I was expecting 4 like Malvhor.
If you succeed but with a 25 or higher, you heal 4.
Oh, okay.
Again, this undertaking is in the player's guide, so I'm not hiding anything here.
So then am I still, I'm so...
How many shadow points are you at? You should have healed 3 total because of Malvhor playing music.
Oh shit, did I start at 5 or 4? I'll have to double check, but right now I have myself at 2.
Okay, so it sounds like you can return 1 hit die and whatever that burned hit point ceiling was.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that I'll never be able to heal more than 2 shadow points at a time.
Yeah, it's like your proficiency bonus will never go up. You're stuck at where you're at, and you'll never roll higher than a 23. We don't level here.
That's cool.
Okay.
Only level 6.
Okay. Yeah, so she's and like I said, she's catching up completely. So she's gonna tell the whole story of how the music eventually led to all of the stuff with Mordu and and how that pretty much got to where they are now, but how the music has ultimately led her to meeting Awendel and Yavanna, and now what's happened up to this point. And on that topic, she will pull Auditor and Northriel outside of the hut, and will become and turn into the bear to show them. And then she'll also make sure that everyone's or she'll also make sure that they're both kind of like what she did with Auditor already, but she'll go into full detail of like what she knows about Galad and everything too, and just kind of it's interesting for Fig because, you know, she's typically somewhat reserved as a person, but with all that's happened at this point, for once, it's almost like she's actually just speaking more than she's really almost ever had in her life in one conversation. Almost like a total vent.
Okay. They are certainly taken aback by a lot of what you had to divulge. They do make a reference when you mention Awendel that they too have met a traveler by the name of Mithrandir.
Oh.
That had passed by several months ago, passing through, heading for the Elven King's Hall.
More Maiar then.
Yes, there were many in this land once upon a time, and they have since mostly retreated back to Valinor, but we believe between Mithrandir and Awendel that there are 3 others, to our understanding, that reside in Middle-earth. And is currently in Sauron's absence. They're the only Maiar that we're aware of.
I am supposed to find these blue wizards too. Wait, is that what I call them? Hold on.
I don't know, is that what you call them?
Where'd it go? Is that what was said? Yes, that's what I have written down.
Okay. So it sounds like you'll be probably heading back south soon then.
Or east, it depends on... After bringing Maerwyn back home, it depends.
Well, have to head south to take her home first.
Yes.
So... Well, whatever transpires, we hope you're safe. Yeah, keep your axe sharp.
Always.
Few of your choice of company that you travel with isn't exactly the sharpest dagger in the sheath, but...
No, I do my best to protect them.
Well, you've done right so far. And if Yavanna is guiding you in some degree, then far be it for us to try to protect you. I think we're beyond that.
All the same, what you have done for me up to this point is still matters a lot. It is very interesting and whole for everyone who I have considered family and close to come together like this and help in one way or another, whether they are still physically here or not.
There's definitely a lot that is beyond our sight. So you walk a dangerous path, Aaron. But we trust that it's an honorable one, and one worthy of yourself, of the task bestowed upon you. You'll do well. And we'll see
I
you
have
again.
been taught well.
Well, that's thanks to me. Naturally, Adathor. All that skulking about in the forest, hunting, of course. But all those nicks and scratches and those... Well, you have a good head on your shoulders, and that certainly did not come from his teachings. Whatever.
Are there still rumors about the two of you?
Oh, not this again.
Or gossip, I suppose, is the better word.
Oh, some of the wayward elves tend to speak out of turn every now and again, and what they don't do is mind their own business. I'm not saying they don't, but that's neither here nor there. You found us, in some degree, Aaron, so doesn't matter what we are. What matters is what we are to you.
Yes, I think that is one of the most important lessons of all. Who you yourself actually define as family. The official terms don't matter.
Well, we hate to see you go, but we'll look forward to the day you return.
I will come back.
We know. You got a long road ahead of you. Keep your friends safe. Keep yourself safe. And we look forward to you when you come back. As he places his hand on your shoulder, and Northrail sort of like grasps your hand gently. And almost in a bit of a unison sort of voice, they both sort of like look at you and mutter, Melagin, which is Sindarin for I love you.
I give a nod, responded back, and I'll kind of do like a little forehead touch to both of them. And then after that, I'll also say, I'll make sure I come back with Galad too, one way or another.
See that you do, because I'm going to have a word with him.
After me.
Take a number.
I'll take a toy for Maerwyn too. She seemed to like what you kept.
Please, I'm sure she'll greatly appreciate it, and it's something to remember this little part of her life. I don't think she truly understands what was happening, what might have been transpiring. And I think that's for the best. For the most part, she sees this as a fun excursion to see the elves, which is a bit of novelty in the world of men, but
Yes.
in this instance, I'll take it.
One day she may learn the truth, but for now, it is for the best.
We'll see. She has the makings of becoming a fine bard one day.
Perhaps there is Malvhor in her after all.
Well, I have no idea about that. Maybe when she
Their
gets older,
crocheting
she'll start...
skills certainly proved it.
I don't know, she took to it a lot faster than him. Maybe when she gets older, she'll show a bit more characteristics. Aaron. If you ever need anything or help, send a rider or a bird, and I'll come find you.
I will.
Good. Well, it's getting late. I believe your guys are setting out in the morning, so we'll get your horses ready. And you can head home. Your other home.
This is only the one solid place so far. Everything else is still just the forest. Although I might be finally getting used to the cities of men. But they stink.
That they do. They stunk 1,000 years ago, and they still do today. Well, maybe one day you can visit Lorien or even Rivendell.
That would be nice. Perhaps that might be where one of our friends are right now.
Friends?
Oh, there used to be another elf with us named Locke. He was from Rivendell.
Locke? They sort of look at each other. He passed through here some time ago.
What? No, literally. What?
Yeah. Hailed from Rivendell, I believe. Bore a striking resemblance to Adathor? Somebody else.
Oh. What?
No one. Don't worry about it.
Who? Oh. What?
It's not our place.
I understand. Where is he now?
Not sure. He was researching something. He headed to the Elven King's Hall to, I believe, investigate a bit of old smithing practices.
Oh. Yes, he's the... I don't think he... No, he did not make it, but he's the one that gave me this armband.
No, that's much older than him.
Yes.
I think.
But he found it somehow.
Well, keep it close. I think he was attempting to create something, craft some things, do research on those old endeavors. I don't know where his path led him after that, but he did pass through here.
Well, as long as he's well.
Last we saw him. Well, it's getting late. I don't want to keep you up too late. So they sort of say their good nights. And Adathor goes to wrangle up the horses to prep them for the morning.
I'll, as I kind of head to bed, I'll pack the fox that Maerwyn was playing with and make sure it's in my stuff.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish to do during your week?
I think that's it.
Okay. So that will conclude your guys' fellowship phase. So you guys awake in final morning in the Greenwood as Adathor sort of stands by the... Adathor and Northrail in the early mornings stand by the vine arch gateway into the village with all three of your horses sort of reins in their hands. It was an absolute pleasure to have all three of you stay with us. 4 of you, sorry, there's a small one that I forget amongst your company. Don't be strangers. You're more than welcome to stay here anytime if you're in the area. I hope, as daunting of a journey as this was, all the way from Pelagia, that it was some bit enjoyable.
Thank you for having us. And thank you for all of your help.
It was good to be back.
It was good to have you back.
It was fun to
If you
meet
ever need
Fig's
of
parents.
And I've enjoyed our
well,
conversations.
Adoptive parents, really. We found her. Anyway.
Don't let the gossip get to you.
We haven't in the last 500 years.
Not like it has before.
No. People can talk. That's all they're allowed to do. You three best start getting on the road. It's a long, long ride.
Indeed it is.
May your return journey be safe and quiet. In fact, Adathor, did you grab the parcel out of the hut? Right. As he pulls out of his pack, like 3 stacks of wrapped, a big leaves sort of wrapping something around. These are some road rations that should help you get you to your destination. So.
Heyo!
Sweet.
Ride safe. If you ever have need of us, send word. We will do what we can. As they sort of hand off the horses to the 3 of you.
As we're turning away and starting to kind of leave from them, I'll lean over to Malvhor and go, they're not officially over. Formally together. Some seem
Alright, that's
taboo.
enough of that. That's enough of that.
I was trying to say it softly enough.
Elf ears.
Oh, that's true.
Too late, I know now.
Alright, get riding. Get a long road ahead of you.
I'll hand Maerwyn the fox, crocheted fox too, as she gets settled.
She sort of grasps onto it. Are you sure this was yours?
I don't play with it anymore. It's fine.
Thank you. So I've heard you be called a few different names. What should I call you?
You can call me whatever is easiest or what you like the most. Fig is fine. Aaron is fine. I have always been one of different worlds with different names. It is no different to me.
Well, I find Aaron really pretty.
Aaron it is.
Okay. You're like a really cool older sister.
Have you seen my bear form yet?
Yes?
No, the other one.
Oh,
Yes.
you have another one?
Just
I'll show
flex
you
anymore,
later.
Why don't you?
Alright.
I appreciate my family growing more to include everyone here.
Oh.
Well, I don't think my mom has a sister, but I'm gonna consider you my aunt. Because that's what I do.
And the family grows. It's strange. Having gone from one set of parents to another, and now all this, transitioning between different worlds, I never thought I would settle somewhere. Seems I am now.
There should be a word for that. Somebody who lives among the elves, but isn't one. I don't know. Should we get going?
When you find that out, let me know. Yes. Let's go.
We have a long road ahead of us, and we have a stop to make along the way.
Yes, we need to still find Lakian.
Adamon Lonk.
Yes. There's a lot to discuss on the way too. Lots has happened.
I require journey rolls. Who's the guide?
I guess that's me. I guess that makes sense still. I took us here.
Yep. I don't remember what everyone's role was on the way here.
I'll be lookout.
Malvhor.
Unless there's anyone to say otherwise.
That leaves Scout and Hunter.
Please, Scout.
Scout. All right. Fig, are you essentially going to take the same route back?
I think so. Just making sure we hit a Monlonk this time, because I believe we passed it the first time and like went around it because we went around the forest. So I will. Is the original path this yellow line that's still on the map?
So.
Okay, then yeah, just about right. Where the fuck is my roller? Here. So just once we kind of like, or actually, we'll just cut in the forest at some point like that.
Okay.
Whether it's from there or nya.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right. Go ahead and give me an embarkation roll, please.
And this is wood again.
D12 plus your survival bonus plus half your wisdom rounded up.
I don't have wisdom. 5.
5 total?
Yeah. Because my wisdom is 0.
I'm not looking at your roll, so I'm just asking.
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
clear.
I rolled a 2 and then plus my survival bonus, which is 3.
Okay. I'm not questioning, I'm just making sure.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure I did it right.
So you rolled a 5, did you? All right. So you guys take your horses and are initially guided out through the way you came on back onto the elven path and begin to head west the direction that you came many days ago, maybe just over 2 weeks ago, and start heading westward, heading for the forest gate to begin heading down through the head south through the Anduin Vales. For most of you, after a long journey, heading home with a feeling a bit taller and the weight that has been lifted off of your shoulders, and the creeping shadow and oppressiveness finally seeming to subside. This leg of the journey is coming to a close, but you still have a long road ahead of you to return to Osgiliath and then onto Pelagir. Maerwyn playing with a little fox doll in the saddle. And
So
in the
cute.
one saddlebag, just a little lip of what looks to be a amber gold saddle blanket that's still being worked on.
Aw.
And that's where we're going to end tonight. And we'll pick up next week on your guys' return journey to get you out of Rovanian and back into Gondor.
We did it! We saved
We
the
did.
child!
You owe me a motherfucking tavern, Malvhor.
Hey, if I die, it's null and void.
Not dead yet, boy.
If you die, it goes to your next of kin.
Maerwyn better
shit.
hope it's not her then.
You have to prove I have next of kin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Extreme. Jerry.
It just immediately pans over to Maerwyn, or not Maerwyn, to Goldwyn going, it's his. Mystery solved! So, but that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week to continue this in a journey phase to get everyone back to the origin point of this arc, essentially, and see what might be awaiting them back home. Our schedule for the week is the same. We haven't changed it. We're all good. So I'll be back Friday. Matt will be live Saturday, and then Kevin Sunday, and then we kick it all back off again next week. So look forward to seeing you all on everything. Until then, stay proficient. See you later. Have a good night, etc., etc., etc.
Bye!